Talking to the camera is probably one of the scariest things about starting a YouTube channel. And in this video, I want to talk to you about how you can become more confident when you talk to the camera and be able to express your thoughts and get through your thoughts better. I remember starting out on YouTube, I was really scared of the camera, and it was one of the things that held me up from starting in the first place for a long time. I looked at ways to not even be on the camera at all and do kind of like a faceless channel. But after a while, I just kind of bit the bullet and I did it. And I remember setting up the camera right here and just being so nervous through the whole thing and stumbling over my words, not knowing what to say, losing my thought process and all that. And I remember coming outside to shoot, and I would have to make sure that the neighbors weren't around. I didn't want anybody to hear me. It was kind of crazy because I would talk really low and try not to be noticed by my neighbors if they were out. And it was even to the point where if my kids were outside or my wife was around, there was no way I was going to be shooting. I was so insecure about talking to the camera and what I was saying and all that. And it was just awkward for me. The other thing that was awkward for me at the time was when I would put my footage back into the editor to edit it. I didn't like the way I looked. I didn't like the way I sounded. And it was very cringe. Like what I was saying was bad, and how I was saying it was bad, and using all the ums and ahs, and the sound of my voice, I hated it. And so the first few months were kind of like that, where I just had to get used to my own voice, and I had to get used to seeing myself on camera. So there were definitely a lot of challenges that came with it. But there were some things that I did that I think helped me along in the process and kind of sped the process up. When I when I talk about the footage and looking back at my footage and listening to my footage, I kind of thought about it this way, because everybody that I know says they hate hearing themselves on the camera and they hate seeing themselves on the camera. And knowing that, I just looked at it as if that's how everybody else sees me anyway, because I can't watch myself normally and I can't hear myself outside of my head. I don't know exactly what my voice sounds like to other people, but I know that pretty much everybody else says when they hear their own voice and they say, does that really sound like me? So that one I just kind of had to deal with. I just kind of had to get over it. And I knew YouTube was something that I wanted to do. So I I just put that aside and said, this is how other people see me. I'm not gonna worry about my voice sounding strange, or me looking the way I look. I mean, this is how God made me, so that's the way I am. Another one of the things that helped me was pre-planning. When I first started out, I didn't really plan my videos out very much because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what I was saying. But when I started to put a plan in place for my videos and started to think about them a lot more and started putting a structure in place, I started thinking about bullet points for what I would say. So I would go and I would shoot the intro, and then I would take that back to the editor and I would edit that. And then I would come up with bullet points for the next part, or I would script it all out beforehand with bullet points, but it would help me to take it into the editor and kind of get my thoughts together again in between shooting. That way it wasn't, I know a lot of people do the one take shoot, and that one didn't work for me as far as I would start babbling and going on without making a point. And so when I got a structure and started to put them into sections and record in small sections, that really helped me a lot. It also helped me to develop the shooting style that I have developed, where I change my camera angles. And every time I change my camera angle, it's usually, I would say probably 95 to almost 100% of the time, it's when I'm done saying something, I want to wrap that part up and then start on something else. But I want it all to look seamless. So when the shot that I was just doing, I stopped talking and then I moved the camera and I continued the thought there. That's helped me to gather my thoughts, reevaluate where I'm at, where I'm going, and just to flow better. And I saw that once I started doing that, it helped me to be able to speak better. And it helped my video to be a little more dynamic or a little easier to follow rather than just one shot of me rambling on and on about something. Another thing that I think really helped me, probably more than anything else, to get me more confident and to be able to speak better and more clearly, it was something that I did in the very beginning, because when I started, I really wanted, I'm just like everybody else. I'm impatient with wanting something now, and I didn't realize exactly how long this YouTube thing would take. I thought, maybe a year and I'd be doing all right. I thought I'd be better than where I was after a year. And I'm happy with where I am now. I've learned a lot. So one of the things that I did in the very beginning was I started from day one, since I wanted to make the process go so much faster. I started with a 30-day challenge. I challenged myself to make a video every single day for 30 days straight. And when I did that, I didn't know what I was talking about. It really wasn't the point of filming at that point. The point of it really was to speed up the process of me being able to talk to the camera, me being able to formulate thoughts, and I wanted to get better. So I put together a 30-day challenge for myself, and I filmed every single day and I uploaded every single day for 30 days in a row. I don't like to look back at them now because they're no good, but they did serve a purpose for me to get better at YouTube, get better at speaking to the camera. And they worked. After the first 30 days, I felt a lot better. I felt a lot more confident about talking to a camera, because it's strange talking to a camera. It's an inanimate object. You don't get any feedback when you're talking to a camera, so you don't know, what you're saying is making sense, or you don't have somebody on the other side to understand what you're saying. So when I did that 30-day challenge, I felt a lot better after the 30 days. I felt a lot more comfortable with speaking on the camera than I did originally. And I think it would have taken me, that was 30 videos. So if you think about a video once a week, that would have taken me 30 weeks to get to that same level as where I was with just the experience of talking on the camera. And I think it really sped up the process. I've talked about the 30-day challenge that I did in other videos that I've made, and I've had comments where people ask me about, what did I do for that 30-day challenge, and kind of just questioning more things on what it was about. So if you are interested in doing a 30-day challenge, I'm going to be putting something together, and I'll put a link in the description for you to get on the wait list once it's available, and I will email out a link to you to get started on the 30-day challenge. And it really helped me. I think it would help a lot of people if they committed to it and did it. And this one will actually be, the way I want to do it is, it'll be more structured than what mine was. Mine was just basic, get 30 days done, get every day, do a video. But this one will actually have different things to go through. And so I'm putting that together. get on the wait list, and I will send that out to you as soon as it's available. Thanks for watching.